Good afternoon, everyone. Pastor Brent Oliver, and today is Saturday on our daily devotions, day 13. I was thinking just a minute ago, based on what we're going to be talking about today. It's day 13. When the Holy Spirit comes, He will convict the world. And in conviction, a lot of times conviction is like a warning signal. I was just sitting here thinking before we started here that, and I know I'll age myself and date myself a little bit, but a show that was on many years ago called Lost in Space. And the robot on there would fling its arms going, danger, danger, danger. Warning sign. Well, let's liken that to the Holy Spirit today. Let's look at the Gospel of John, chapter 16, starting in verse 8. Jesus says this, "Unless I go away, the counselor or the comforter," speaking of the Holy Spirit, "will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. When he comes, he will convict the world of guilt in regard to sin and righteousness and judgment. In regard to sin, because men do not believe me. In regard to righteousness, because I am going to the Father, where you can see me no longer. And in regard to judgment, because the prince of this world now stands condemned." Not only will the Holy Spirit his coming be good for us, but he will make a difference in our lives and ministry. In verse 8 there it says the Holy Spirit will convict the world, which means to present or expose facts to convince of the truth. The Holy Spirit works on the heart or the spirit of each one of us, of people who are not following Christ according to their sin, of those of us who do follow Christ, to warn us of a direction we're going to go or some other thing. The Holy Spirit convicts us and warns us. Therefore, as followers of Christ, the more emptied of ourselves that we are and full of the Holy Spirit and His working in our lives, the more conviction is possible to those that we're trying to testify to and for us to maintain a right walk with God. The Holy Spirit convicts the world of its lack of righteousness, that we have no righteousness whatsoever that is acceptable to God, that our righteousness is inadequate, insufficient, and unacceptable to God, that only Jesus' righteousness is acceptable. In fact, our very best attempt at being good isn't good enough. Finally, the Holy Spirit convinces the world that judgment is coming, that a person is to face a personal judgment of God. The Holy Spirit convicts us that we're both responsible and accountable to God, that we will face a real judgment in the future, that you and I will stand before God and we will be judged. They will be judged for sin, for lack of righteousness, maybe for some of the things we've done, and possibly for some of the things we've not done. He will even judge our motives on the good deeds we've done. Romans chapter 14 verse 12 says, "So then, each of us will give an account of himself to God." The Holy Spirit comes to convict us, comes to warn us. You see all the time in road signs driving down the road, construction ahead, railroad track ahead. All of these things are warnings to watch out, slow down, be aware. Holy Spirit does all of those things. No, don't go there. You say, well, that's my conscience. No, that's the Holy Spirit. You feel guilty? That's the Holy Spirit. You feel like, well, I really need to get back to church and get right with God. That's the Holy Spirit. You wouldn't have those thoughts. Holy Spirit places that there because God is drawing you. He draws you by the Spirit. He convicts you by the Spirit of wrongdoing. Develop a listening ear to hear Him when He convicts. And don't be so quick to brush it off, but be ever quick to hear what He has to say and follow His urgings today the Holy Spirit comes to convict us. Well, that's our word for today, and I appreciate you being here with us. This is Saturday, so tomorrow morning, Sunday morning service, we'd love to have you join us. Facebook Live, YouTube as well, and church website. All of those avenues you'll be able to find us. We encourage you to cast it up on your TV or whatever. Get a big screen and whatever best sound you have, and just let the Lord speak to you during that time. We'll continue with daily devotions. Again, our Sunday morning service tomorrow. We'd love to have you join us. Before we're done, we're going to turn to Tammy and let her lead us in a song of worship. And as she does, I want you to remember today, listen intently to the Holy Spirit, who is there to convict you because he's trying to keep you from going the wrong direction. Listen carefully. It will save you a lot of heartache. God bless you today as we turn to Tammy now.
Lord, speak to me. I want to see who you are. Change my heart, Lord, and make me holy. If there's anything in my life that doesn't honor you tonight, I'm listening. Lord, speak to me. I want to be, Lord, where you are. I want to know, Lord, who you are. So when you call my name, I'll say to you, here I am. Lord, I'm listening. Speak to me. I want to see how you see. Change my heart, Lord, and make me holy. If there's anything in my life that doesn't honor you tonight, Lord, I'm listening. Come speak to me. Speak to me. Oh, Holy Spirit, speak to me. If there's anything in my life that doesn't honor you tonight, I'm listening. Lord, speak to me. Speak to me. Lord, speak to me. Search my heart, oh God. Search my heart, oh God, and see if there be any wicked way in me. Search me, oh God. Search me, oh God. If there's anything in my life that doesn't honor you tonight, I'm listening. Lord, speak to me. Speak to me. Speak to me.